Hello and a big welcome to the channel. I'm the Motorsport Madman and this is the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix. If you are new to the channel, if you are a Formula 1 fan, then please do get yourself subscribed because I'm live for every single qualifying and every single Grand Prix from the Formula 1 World Championship. This is round 17. We've been delayed over an hour due to a heavy rain shower about an hour ago. Yeah, big rain shower has delayed this race by an hour, but we are about to get underway for Singapore. The conditions are now damp, the track's dried out considerably. Let me just turn my music down, it's going to be hella loud. I will turn that right down. Yeah guys, so the situation is this. I think people are going to start on the intermediate tyres. I think the track's dried out that much in the last 45 minutes that I think the full wets are out. I think it's going to be intermediate start. Race is going to get underway in about 2 or 3 minutes time. I thought, sack the build up. We just get straight into it. Come live, bang. Here's the starting grid then for the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix. It's a pit lane start for George Russell. He's taking new engine components and all that stuff. So it's Russell from the pit lane. Latifi 19th, Albon 18th, Ocon 17th, Ricciardo 16th, Valtteri Bottas will start from 15th, Zhou Guanyu from P14, Sebastian Vettel in the Aston Martin from 13th on the grid. I think he's won this race 5 times. Mick Schumacher from P12, what can he get in the points? Come on, Mick. Lance Stroll from 11th, Yuki Tsunoda inside the top 10, Kevin Magnussen will start this Singapore Grand Prix from P9. It's 8th place for potential championship winner Max Verstappen. He's going to have to win the race and hope that others fail for him to win the championship this afternoon. But it's Gasly from P7, Lando Norris from P6, Fernando Alonso from P5. What can he do? He'll be looking at the podium this afternoon. Carlos Sainz from 4th, Hamilton from P3. He's got to be going for the win this afternoon, as is Sergio Perez from P2, and Leclerc will start the Singapore Grand Prix from pole position. We're about to get the formation lap underway. Who's in the chat, guys? So we've got Ernesto, I am not like Demon. Welcome into the stream. Anto's in as well. I saw Martin was in before and Kim was in before. I don't know if you're all still here, but welcome to the stream. Obviously, I was supposed to come live at 12:30 for the race starting at 1. That didn't happen. I woke up, switched on the TV, boom, at full rain shower. I was like, as soon as I switched on the coverage, I was like, this ain't starting at 1 p.m. This. As soon as I saw it, I was like, nope. And I thought, I've got 2 options. When I saw the rain coming down, I thought, right, I've got 2 options. I go live at 12:30 and sit and have a waffle on about nothing for an hour and a half, or do I just wait for the actual race to start? I thought, do you know what? Do I fancy sitting here talking about Red Bull overspending or some other irrelevant stuff for an hour and a half? I thought, nah, do you know what? I'll come live when the race is going to get underway, and that is about now. Let me get the headphones on. So, but I'm well up for this one. I'm hoping for an upset. I'm hoping for a bit of chaos today. We've had too many straightforward races this season. Right, that's set. The live timings. Let me make sure that they're going to be welcoming Ryan Tune. How are we doing, bro? Right, so we're underway for the formation lap. Everyone on the intermediates, I think. Have we got the music on? We don't need the music on anyway, do we? Right, that's that. Right, okay. We should be all right. Am I even? That'll do. We'll be all right there, my lad. Let me make sure that wire isn't banging against the microphone for 2 hours. So yeah, formation lap. And then we can get this 2022 Singapore Grand Prix underway. Can Max Verstappen still win it from P8? And look at this, as they're on the formation lap there, the track looks pretty much dry apart from a few damp patches. It's literally... do you know what? It's similar conditions to... it was either 2017 or 2018 when there was a damp race start. It is virtually identical conditions to that when the two Ferraris, when it was Vettel and Raikkonen at Ferrari. Oh, was it Vettel and Raikkonen? Yeah, Vettel and Raikkonen at Ferrari. Sandwich match for Max Verstappen right at the start. The top three were out before they got to turn one. That was the last time we saw a bit of rain in Singapore. So if you get anything like that for a start, massive chaos. Look at the top four. Who's starting from fifth? Because Fernando Alonso has left a massive gap between the top four and fifth. But yeah, as far as I know, and looking at this graphic here as well, everybody is on the intermediate tyres, as far as I know. That's what the graphic's saying. That's what the right, that should be like that. Okay, we should be all right. Hamilton gets a good start. It could be, yeah, exactly. Hamilton can lead into turn one. That's what's mad. Hamilton gets a perfect start, gets a slipstream off. Well, mind you, it's not the longest run into turn one, but Lewis can lead into turn. Lewis can go side by side with Leclerc into turn one. Watch as we cut to George Russell. Pit lane start for George Russell. He's not even out of the garage yet. But we are coming. Record-breaking attendance. 302,000 people in the crowd for the Singapore Grand Prix. 302,000 people. Now that is a crowd. That is a crowd. Oh my God, we're lining up. We're lining up. So Verstappen can win the championship this afternoon if he wins the race, and I think Leclerc's got to be outside the top 8. Perez has got to be outside the top 4. So I don't think he'll wrap up the championship this weekend. It'll take something incredible. He'll probably win it in Japan next weekend, but let's see what happens. Oh, here we go then. It's Leclerc, Perez, Hamilton, Sainz, Alonso, Norris, Gasly lining up on the grid then. And George Russell sat in the garage. He's going to come out for a pit lane start. So George Russell is going to have to fight his way through from the back. Championship leader and champion-elect Max Verstappen will start from 8th place. So can he come through and win? We saw it in Spa. We saw it in Hungary. Even in Monza. He can come through and win wherever he starts. Oh my God, all right, here we go, they're lining up, safety cars on. Here we go, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It's round 17 of 22, and the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix is underway. It's actually looked like a great start for Charles Leclerc. Lewis Hamilton lost the rear end a little bit, and it is Sergio Perez who leads into turn 1, and Hamilton trying, he's had contact with Carlos Sainz. Hamilton and Sainz just touch as they go into turn 1, and Sainz is now ahead of Hamilton. So it is Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, and then comes a Toro Rosso trying down the inside of Lando Norris and Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso has actually lost positions at the start. Not something that you say in Formula 1 in the last few years. But Alonso down to about 8th. It's Perez from Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Norris, and then Pierre Gasly and Fernando Alonso go side by side into turn 7. Gasly's got the inside line, but now, and it's all chaos behind. There's a Williams off. There's a Williams spun off into the barrier. I don't know if it's Albon or Latifi. I think it's Albon. Crofty's saying Alexander Albon's gone off at turn 7. Just saw the back end of the car smashing, spinning round into the runoff area. But Lewis Hamilton had a sketchy one. And Max Verstappen down the inside. Verstappen's had an awful start then. I think Verstappen's down in about 15th. Oh no, he's still... What? Oh no, I tell you what. No, I've got that wrong. Verstappen's already ahead. Verstappen is P12. I said he was down to 15th. He wasn't as low as 15th. Verstappen is 12th. I don't really think this timing screen's... Oh yeah, no it is. Yeah, the timing screen's right. We're right. So it's Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Norris, Alonso, Gasly, Vettel, Tsunoda, Stroll, Magnussen, Verstappen down from 8th to 12th. Not an ideal start for the championship leader. I don't think the championship's on the table today after that. But it is Sergio Perez who comes round to lead lap 1. Jake, I couldn't really give a damn about football at the moment. I know a lot of people that watch my stream are from Denver and it's all about football, but I could give a damn probably about as much as football fans probably give a damn about this. So, yeah, I couldn't give a damn. I don't care if Manchester City win 28-0. I am watching the race. But yeah, I think I can see a bit of damage on the front of that. I think that Haas has got a little bit of damage. But Max Verstappen now all over the back of Lance Stroll for P10, and Verstappen goes down the inside into turn 7, and Stroll gives him the space, and Verstappen makes up a position after a terrible start, losing 4 positions in the first half a lap, Max Verstappen, so I don't know what happened to him, but he is recovering it now. He's up to P10. Next up, Yuki Tsunoda. So it is Perez from 1 second over Leclerc, then Sainz is 4 seconds off that. Here we go for a replay of the start then. So it did look like Leclerc got a good start, and he did. And then Perez, just once Perez got into like 3rd gear, he was gone. And Sainz and Hamilton, they go round turn 1. Oh, and they wheel bang Hamilton and Sainz in turn 2. Got away with it, and then it was Gasly and Alonso battling over P6 behind. But look at that. So Hamilton actually had a good start and then just lost a little bit. And Sainz had a great start. Sainz and Perez on the inside both had great starts. Yeah, Sainz has just sort of bumped Lewis off in turn 2, but it's all fine. It's all fair enough as far as I'm concerned. This is a start on board with Max Verstappen. He bogged down horrendously. And through comes the AlphaTauri. Aston Martin, oh my God, gets swamped by about 5 cars. Oh, and he had to cut across the... inside of turn 1 just to avoid the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll cutting in front of him. But yeah, Verstappen down from 8th to 12th has now recovered it up to 10th, and it's Sergio Perez. Oh, absolute rocket of a start. Absolute rocket of a start. Wow. So here's the situation then. Leclerc's less than a second behind Perez, and they've dropped Carlos Sainz by over 4.5 seconds. Hamilton then in P4 is a couple of seconds behind Sainz. Norris is 5th. Well, Hamilton complaining about the tyres. Okay, so Lewis is complaining about the tyres, sort of insinuating that he should be on the full wets. I think it sounds like Lewis wanted to be on the extreme wets, and the team have overruled him and said, no, we're going inters. And he's now on the radio where not happy at all, saying, I told you about these tyres, not enough grip, you need to listen to me in the future. So Lewis firing shots on the radio, but we're cut to on board with Max Verstappen all over the back of Yuki Tsunoda for 9th place. They're going to go down to turn 15, and Max gets the job done. So Verstappen down the inside of Yuki Tsunoda and gets the job done into P9 now. Max Verstappen still not made it up to where he started the race when started 8th, dropped to 12th, now back up to P9. Where can he finish, Max Verstappen? Also, George Russell from his pit lane start has now caught up the back of the pack and is P18. So Alexander Albon, despite the spin, I don't think we've seen a replay of that, but despite Alexander Albon spinning off and going down the runoff area in turn 7 on lap 1, he has managed to continue. And now we're going to get a replay of that, I think. Okay, so Kevin Magnussen, we've seen a replay on board. Kevin Magnussen, lap 1. And does he tag Verstappen? We're seeing a replay of lap 1, Verstappen versus Magnussen. This was for like P12. And Verstappen just pinches him against the wall. And yeah, that explains why Kevin Magnussen has got a little bit of front wing end fence damage on the front of that car. Vettel P8. Yeah. Oh, there you go. Right, so he didn't get... Oh, he did hit the wall. Alexander Albon did spin off at turn 7 and hit the wall with the rear of the car, but he's continuing on. He's still in the race, albeit last, but Alexander Albon is in the race. George Russell 18th, then that's going to be a long afternoon for George Russell. trying to come from the pit lane to get some decent points. But it is Perez still by a second, pretty much dead on a second from Charles Leclerc. They're a lot quicker than Carlos Sainz. They're looking like they're about half a second a lap quicker than Carlos Sainz. So they're dropping him. The gap is now 6 seconds between Perez and Sainz in third. So you've sort of got a top two breakaway of Perez, Leclerc. They're the top two breakaway. Then you've got a 6 second gap to Sainz, with Hamilton a couple of seconds behind that. And then he's dropping Norris. Norris is about 4.5 seconds behind Hamilton now. And then Alonso's 3 seconds behind that. Gasly. So the closest battle on circuit is probably be Verstappen catching Vettel for P8. That'll be coming up soon. The gap there is 1.7. Also, the battle for 12th is close. You've got Ricciardo right behind Magnussen within a second. Well, the battle for 12th between Magnussen, Ricciardo, Schumacher is extremely close. And Zhou Guanyu is all over the back of Nicholas Latifi as well for P18. But we are watching Max Verstappen P9. Lewis wanted to start on full wets. It does sound like that, Anto. Yeah, it does sound like that. It does sound like Lewis wanted the full wets. Yeah, it does sound like Lewis wanted to start the race on the extreme wets, and it sounds like the team have overruled him. Started on the intermediates. I don't think full wets was the way to go. I mean, I'm in no position to say what tyre they should be on, but we're seeing a replay of Russell passing Latifi for 17th. So Russell now up to P17, and we are watching Max Verstappen all over the back of Sebastian Vettel then for 8th place. He's going to line him up now. I don't think they've because it's classified as like a wet race still. I don't think we've got DRS yet until it's officially declared dry, which will happen at some point. And then we start getting DRS. But at the moment, yeah, it's wettest coming round turn 17, because what's happening is there's a bridge going over turn 17, and all the water that's accumulated is dropping. It's just basically just dropping off the bridge above, or some kind of structure goes over the circuit, and it's just absolutely just constantly dripping on the circuit. So turn 17 is wet, and also we saw yesterday in qualifying that turn 8 takes a while to dry up as well, but the rest of the circuit is looking pretty much dry. So that's the limiting factor. Is turn 17 looks like the limiting factor to go on to slicks. When that starts, yeah, look, turn 8 is also damp. They're the limiting things. Cheers, Ernesto. Yeah, please do drop me a like if you are enjoying the stream. It obviously helps me out. It's obviously my first season doing this, so not got a hell of a lot of a following. So any kind of interaction, get in the live chat, drop me a like, subscribe if you're into Formula One. It all helps me out and helps this channel grow from something insignificant to something hopefully one day significant. But it is Perez has now got a 1.4 second lead over Charles Leclerc. Sainz has stopped the bleeding in P3s. The gap is remaining at 6 seconds between Perez and Sainz, because for a good few laps, for the first 4 or 5 laps, the top two were a lot quicker than Sainz. I tell you what, Perez is doing a good job. Perez is now pulling away from Charles Leclerc by a couple of tenths a lap. The gap 1.5 seconds for the lead. Hamilton P4, so lost out to Sainz in the first corner of the race, down to 4th. Norris looking solid in 5th. Alonso P6, 3.5 seconds behind Norris. And this we are watching the battle for P7 between Pierre Gasly, Sebastian Vettel, and Max Verstappen. Verstappen has been held up by Vettel now for a good few laps. Here we go to start, finish straight, then to start lap 7, and Vettel has to pull a defensive move into turn 1. Yeah, Verstappen's all over the back of that Aston Martin now, and yeah, but Vettel, like they're saying on Sky, Vettel is within a second of Gasly, so it's a three-way fight for P7 that we've got. Yeah, Dixon. Actually, that is legitimate. It could, yeah. Bit clammy in Singapore, isn't it? Yellow flag sector 1. Don't know what's happening there. Maybe we're going to cut to something, but back to green flags again. So it was Zhou Guanyu stopped. Has he hit anything, or has he just stopped? But it looks like Zhou Guanyu's out of the race. We have got a puncture for Nicholas Latifi, so I wonder if Zhou and Latifi have made contact with each other. But yeah, Nicholas Latifi with a rear left puncture crawling around the circuit. Yeah, I think he's broke a rear axle as well, looking at that. I think that wheel's wobbling around. But we need to see a replay because Zhou Guanyu's out of the race. Nicholas Latifi is limping back to the pits with 3 wheels on his wagon. So I do not know what's happened there. But we have got yellow flag sector 1 due to Zhou Guanyu. I don't know exactly where Zhou Guanyu is stopped, but he is out of the race. And cut to his family in the garage, who don't look very happy at all. Perez and Charles keep trading purple sectors. Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I'm not. I'm not watching this. Oh, it is. I think that's Latifi's fault, man. Latifi just. I don't know what he's doing, man. Latifi just tried to take the racing line into, I think, turn 8, and I think Latifi's going to be out of the race, man. As into the pits comes Kevin Magnussen. Brand new set of intermediate tyres for the Haas. And he's back underway again. So, no safety car. We've still got yellow flags in sector 1 whilst they try and remove the Alfa Romeo Zhou Guanyu. No virtual safety car, no safety car. We're on lap 8. And now they throw the safety car. Now they throw the full safety car. So, any gaps that are formed, irrelevant. We are going to go nose to tail, and the safety cars come out after contact. Well, after a crash, more than contact. It was a pretty bad one between Zhou Guanyu and Nicholas Latifi. I think they're both going to be out of the race. Latifi has now made it back to the pit lane, but I think that rear axle is broken. Let's have a look. So we're now watching Latifi in the pit lane. I mean, will they put a new set of tyres on it and front wing and setting him on his way? I don't know. I think this might be something structurally broken on that Williams, but we're about to find out. No. No, look at that. Nah. Look, they're going no. They're going no. They're going no. It's broken. It's broken. Yeah, so Nicholas Latifi's Williams is broken. He's out of the race. There's something broken at the back of the car. One of the, rear suspension wishbones or... But yeah, something at the rear left of the Williams is broken. So Zhou Guanyu's out. Nicholas Latifi's out. Kevin Magnussen's been in the pits, so he will be 18th. But we are behind a safety car. Time's a bit behind. Oh, on here, I'll refresh it. I'll refresh it. Thanks for telling me. Because sometimes it is a bit delayed, so I'll refresh it. We might as well refresh it now behind the safety car anyway, so it's actually a good time to reboot it because we're behind the safety car anyway. But yeah, hopefully that should be back to live once it refreshes. It should be bang on the money. So safety cars out, lap 9. And the running order is Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Hamilton, Norris, Alonso, Gasly, Vettel, Verstappen, Tsunoda, Stroll, Ricciardo, Schumacher, Ocon, Bottas, Russell, Albon, Magnussen. Here we go for a replay on board with Valtteri Bottas then. Oh, wow. George Russell just steaming. Oh, that's not good, George. I mean, George has had a bit of a nightmare there down to turn 7. George just went for crazy dive bomb into turn 7 on Valtteri Bottas. Locked a front left tyre. Realised that he ain't going to make the corner. He's going to go straight on. But he's got Bottas on his outside and clips his front wing. But yeah, Valtteri taking a knock to his front wing there through George Russell trying a heroic one. It was a bit naughty from George, that. You know what I mean? If I'm Valtteri Bottas in that situation, I'm fuming. I'm thinking, what are you doing? If I'm Bottas there, I am on the team radio going, what is he doing? What is he doing, man? Like, just comes steaming down the inside and just, like, knocks me out of the way. Like, what are you doing, man? So, yeah. George Russell, P16. And struggling to come through the pack. He did have a good go. He certainly went full send on Valtteri Bottas. Didn't come off, but yeah. Safety car's out. Everyone's concertinaing up now behind the safety car, and then I reckon we'll get back underway pretty shortly. But yeah, hopefully the now that that's refreshed, the live timing should be bang on. But watch this space. And yeah, as I say that the safety car won't be out for long. Safety car ending. So the safety car will be in at the end of this lap. We're on lap 10 of a potential 61 lap race, but I don't think we're going to get all the way to 61 laps before the time runs out, because a Grand Prix has a 2-hour time limit from the second it starts. No matter how many laps you've done, a Grand Prix has a 2-hour time limit, and a few times in Singapore we have hit that 2-hour time limit before the 61 laps have been completed. And I think today's going to be another one of those days. We'll probably get to like lap 55, or depends how many safety cars there is, if there's any red flags, if there's any more incidents. But I don't think we'll get the full 61 laps completed, probably 50 something laps. But yeah, we're on lap 10. Safety car's going to come into the pits and we're going to get back racing. So get in. But I think we're not far away from slicks, to be honest. I'm going to say we're less than a dozen laps away from someone going slicks. So we're going to be starting again. We're going to be, man, it's still wet there though. That's the place. It's where that Emirates bridge goes over the circuit at turn 17. It's just dripping water and just creating just a stream across the circuit, and that's what's preventing them from going on slicks. There's also a couple of other corners that are a little bit damp, but it is turn 17 that's preventing the the slick tyres, but we are back underway then. The safety car peels into the pits, and Hamilton is right behind Carlos Sainz for P4. The race is back underway. It's lap 11 in the Singapore Grand Prix, and it is Perez from Leclerc, Sainz, and Hamilton putting big pressure on him. It's Norris 5th, Alonso 6th, Gasly, Vettel, Verstappen battling over P7. That battle resumes then. And then behind Verstappen, we've got the AlphaTauri of Yuki Tsunoda, and then Stroll, Ricardo. Oh, I tell you what, Verstappen's going for it. Verstappen has got past Sebastian Vettel in turn 5. I don't think I've ever seen an overtaking manoeuvre in turn 5 in Singapore. A hell of a move there. Just showing the confidence that Max Verstappen's got and the difference in performance between the Red Bull and the Aston Martin. So Verstappen on the warpath then, back up to P8 where he started the race. Obviously he had a horrible start, was down to 12th, but back to 8th and right behind Pierre Gasly then for P7 now. Oh, he's trying it down at the hairpin, is Max Verstappen, and gets the job done. Gasly gives him the space, but that was a risky place to try and overtake. I saw Felipe Massa trying to do that about 10 years ago, and it very nearly went wrong there. But Max Verstappen then makes 2 more positions up in the first half a lap after the safety car restart. So Verstappen now up to P7. Yeah, look at turn 17, is still wet. I think, my prediction is, right, so we're on lap 11. I reckon by lap 20, you'll see someone on slicks. Yeah, we're on lap 12 now. I reckon by lap 20, we'll see someone on slicks. I don't think we're that far away from it. That'll be my prediction. Give it another 8 or 9 laps. You might have someone who's down the bottom, like a George Russell, or, someone who's either out of position or may as well go for a risk. I think around lap 20 you'll see someone going, give me a set of mediums, give me a set of slick tyres, and let's have a go. Let's gamble it. Perez and Leclerc have dropped Sainz again immediately after this restart. Perez, of course, with only 1 win this season, despite having surely what's considered now the best car on the grid. Only 1 win for Sergio Perez. Obviously, Verstappen, I think, 11 wins. Perez only with the 1 win in Monaco, it was. So Perez will be desperate to show his worth and desperate to win this one, as will Charles Leclerc, though, who's had a terrible season, really. Not entirely his fault, more Ferrari's fault than Leclerc's, but it's not been great, has it? And Leclerc could be desperate to win this. We're on board with Fernando Alonso in P6, within a second of Lando Norris in 5th. So Fernando Alonso looking quick. And obviously the battle between McLaren and Alpine is incredibly close this season. I think the points gap is like 17 points or something like that. I think McLaren are on 107 and Alpine 125 or something like that. So what's that? 18-point gap or something like that. Morning, Sean. Hey, I tell you what, Sean, this race got delayed by an hour. I was actually quite glad of it. When I woke up, switched the telly on, I saw it was raining and it just come up Race delayed by an hour, I thought. It's good news. But we're underway, and lap 13 of Verstappen all over the back of Fernando Alonso then for P6 as the track continues to dry out. I think as soon as there's a dry line around turn 17 and it dries out a little bit more at turn 8, boom, you're going to see people in for the slick tyres. Verstappen hunting down Fernando Alonso, and then the thing is, Norris isn't far up the road. Once he gets past Alonso, he'll soon catch up to Norris. Verstappen will be 5th before we know it, and then we've got a bit of a gap to Lewis then. And when he catches up to the back of Lewis, then we might get a bit of he might kick off a bit then. Hanging, yeah, I can imagine, Sean. You were on it. You were on it, lad. Hey, I bet you're glad you're not on doing a stream right now. But yeah, Verstappen close, but not close enough to make a move on Fernando Alonso into turn 1. But he is within half a second now. It's a matter of time. The battle out front. Perez leads Leclerc by 1.4 seconds. They've dropped Sainz again. They dropped him at the start. They dropped him after the... Hamilton 1.2 behind Sainz. But this is the battle that everyone's watching. This is Verstappen versus Alonso for P6. Ernesto's in. Ernesto, did you go on and have a rave with Denver last night? I know you were talking about it, but I faded. But did you go on and have a rave with Denver last night at like early hours of the morning? I want to know. Because it was a bit of a rave. But I tell you what, Alonso's able to keep Verstappen behind him. He's been holding him up now for about 2 or 3 laps. Verstappen not able to get the job done yet. Yeah. Yeah, Sean. It was one of them. It was one of them, lad. Right, here we go. Cut to the battle for the lead. I tell you what, Leclerc is keeping Perez on his toes for the lead. Leclerc 1.4 seconds behind Perez for the lead and keeping him honest. If Perez makes a mistake, locks a brake, goes a bit wide, Leclerc is putting Perez under pressure. Also, Hamilton almost within DRS range of Sainz, but DRS has not been switched on yet. But I don't think we're that far away from it being declared dry and DRS being activated, surely. We're on lap 15. I predicted we're going to see slick tyres around lap 20, and I stand by that. I still think we'll see slick tyres around lap 20 in about 5 or 6 laps' time. Oh, no, Sean. Critical error. Critical error, that. Just there, down it. Oh, no. Yeah, it was a bit of a heavy one. Yeah, Perez having to look in his mirrors down the straights for Charles Leclerc, that Ferrari in his mirrors. And yeah, look at the battle for third between Sainz and Hamilton. Lewis looking quick. Lewis is looking quick. And Verstappen still can't get past Fernando Alonso. Alonso still up there in P6. Verstappen half a second behind in P7, but yes, he laps turn 17 is still damp. Bit of moisture there in turn 18, but not so bad. Who's going to be the first one to risk a set of dry tyres? Who's going to be the first one? I think if I'm George Russell, I'd go for it. My prediction is George Russell comes in for slicks in about 5 laps. I think Russell comes in for slicks on lap 21. That's my Mystic Meg coming out. I go George Russell in for slicks lap 21. That's what I'm saying. I think someone's got to take the gamble soon. There's a couple of areas where it looks a bit sketchy where you think, I won't fancy slicks. I won't fancy slicks in turn 8. I won't fancy slicks turn 17. And I won't fancy slicks on the curb at turn 1 neither. That looks full of water, to be honest. But if you can avoid the curb at turn 1, take it easy in turn 8 and turn 17, I reckon you get away with a set of slicks pretty soon. Although, having said that, it didn't really work in qualifying, did it? We saw Aston Martin... Norris Team Radio. Okay. So, yeah, you see, the inters are starting to fall off now. Do they come in for a new set of inters? This is the thing. You've got to try and eke these intermediate tyres out for as long as possible, so then you can just go straight onto the dries. Because if you've got to pit now, you're probably going to just put a new set of intermediate tyres on. It's a bit too early for slicks. So you don't want to be pitting now, because you're going to have to pit for a new set of inters and then pit in 10 laps time anyway for the dry tyres. So you want to try and eke these intermediates out as long as possible to the point where it's dry enough to just go straight from intermediates to dry and just do one stop. And then just put a set of hard tyres on and go to the end, or something like that. Or maybe put a set of mediums on and then pit on lap 40 or something like that. But yeah. It's dry now, yeah. No, it was a rainy one. There was a massive downpour about an hour before the race started. So it's been drying up ever since then. There was just a massive downpour for about 20 minutes, half an hour, like monsoon. For like 20 minutes, half an hour, and then since then it's just been drying up. And now we're getting to a point where it's sort of debatable whether you want to be on wet tyres now. There's still a few wet patches, but on the whole, I think someone's going to gamble it in a few laps, especially you down the back. George Russell in the Mercedes P16. What's he got to lose? Well, I mean, you could stick it in the wall. You could put a set of dry tyres on it, go in a puddle and just go straight on and you're in the wall. So you've got that to lose. But I think it's sort of worth the risk. If you're like massively out of position down there in 17th, or if you've got sort of like nothing to lose, I reckon go for it in a few laps. Yeah. Ooh. But we'll see. We're lap 17. It's Perez that leads the race after taking the lead in turn 1. He got a great start, went down the inside of Charles Leclerc immediately when the race started, and led since turn 1 of the race. From Charles Leclerc in second, 1.7 seconds behind Perez, so keeping him honest and keeping the pressure on for the lead. Sainz is third, but he's a good few seconds behind the top two. But he is the one. Sainz is under pressure as well from Lewis Hamilton in P4. And then Norris P5 and Alonso 6th, still holding up Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, whilst he was able to cruise past the likes of Stroll and Tsunoda and Vettel and Gasly, now sort of meets his match in Fernando Alonso. Well, it's just finding it a lot more difficult as we cut to George Russell, who's stuck behind a train of cars. Russell in P16 stuck behind quite a few cars, stuck behind Schumacher, Ocon, Bottas. Got it on lockdown. Carlos Sainz on the team radio, lap 18, not far from slicks now. What did I say? Lap 20? Lap 21? On lap 18 we get the first team radio message. Not far from slicks. I know me game. Yeah. We know what the game is round here. The prediction's gonna be pretty good, I reckon. Maybe Sainz will be the first one. Verstappen team radio. Max saying still too wet. He's got too much to lose. If you're Verstappen, you stay out on the Inters. You don't need to gamble it. But if you're George Russell in 16th, give me a set of dry tyres. I don't know, man. Yeah, the only this is it. The counter argument to it is in qualifying, there was Aston Martin went to slicks in these conditions and it didn't work. It didn't work, which is unusual. Usually, you look at these track conditions, you go put a set of slicks on it, you're going to go 5 seconds quicker. Usually, but Singapore's a weird one. Singapore, it's not. It's not that obvious. Science is not having a good afternoon here. He's under pressure from Lewis Hamilton. He's not got the pace of Charles Leclerc, his teammate in front. Maybe Science will be the first one to go, do you know what? I'm fading away. It's not working for me. Let's try a set of dry tyres. As we see the vibrations on the front of Lando Norris's car in turn 2. Wow. Slow-mo, the artistic slow-mo shot of Lando Norris. And Max Verstappen still stuck behind Fernando Alonso. It does look really close now. He's right all over the gearbox of that Alpine in front now. The battle for P6. No way, Anto. 4-0 City. What, at half-time? Brutal. Brutal, that. You're joking. Are you for real? Is it 4-0 City at half-time? Oh my God, I'm glad I'm not watching it. I'm glad I'm not watching that. Oh my God, it's an absolute decimation. Or are you having me on? I'm going to have a look. I'll have a look. Oh, it's adverts in it because it's half time. Oh, that's not it. Go back. No way. We're on lap 20 out of 61. Perez is just starting to open the gap on Charles Leclerc now. The gap is 2.2 seconds between Perez and Leclerc. Oh, Verstappen complained about his gearbox. Potential reliability concern for Max Verstappen, currently sitting in P7, and is complaining about the upshifts on the gearbox. The reliability this season from Ferrari and Red Bull has been very questionable. So it wouldn't be a huge surprise to hear of reliability problems again for the championship contending teams. But it is Perez from Leclerc by 2.5 seconds. They absolutely dropped Sainz. Sainz is 10 seconds behind Leclerc. If I'm Sainz, get me on a set of slicks because it's not working out. Hamilton in P4 must be close to Sainz. I don't know the gap, but 1.1. Yeah, so Hamilton 1.1 behind Sainz for third. Alonso team radio. Well, Fernando Alonso also saying that it's not ready for slicks. He's not seeing a dry line. Fernando Alonso's not fancying slicks at all. As we cut to Mercedes, no way am I going to get this prediction bang on. There is no way. There is no way. If I said that George Russell's going to go on to slicks on lap 21 and it happens, bro, we are on lap 21. Or I might be a lap out. I might be a lap out. It might be lap 22. Audio isn't working. What? I haven't got any audio. You mean you can hear me though, can't you? I haven't got any other audio. It's better now. Oh, did it lag out? Did it? Was something happen? Nah. Roberto's Gaming. Apologies if something happened with the audio, but it should be like I can see the little volume thing. Should be okay. But yeah, apologies if it wasn't. We're on lap 21. And Mercedes are getting ready with tyres in the garage. Maybe, like I said, for George Russell, you know, if he's in 16th, it's not working out. You may as well risk it. As Verstappen passes Alonso, we're not watching that. We've got a yellow flag sector 2. We're watching Sergio Perez in the lead of the race. Alonso's out. We've seen damage. Alonso's out of the race. Alonso is out of the Singapore Grand Prix. Engine problem, says Fernando Alonso. So we've got a yellow flag middle sector. I think if the safety car comes out, bang, in slicks for everyone. Well, not everyone, but people. Wow, this could be the moment. This could be the moment. Virtual safety car. Okay, VSC. Here we go. Yes, Flabby, welcome in. My predictions are... Forget about it now. We've got flipping virtual safety cars and all sorts. We've thrown the cat amongst the pigeons now because Alonso's out. The third retirement from the race, and after Zhou Guanyu and Latifi crashed about 20 laps ago. About 15 laps ago. But yeah, Fernando Alonso with the reliability issue. Engine cuts out and retires from the Singapore Grand Prix. 350th Grand Prix as well. A big milestone for Fernando Alonso. I think it's the second most races of all time. I think it's only Kimi Raikkonen has got more races than Fernando Alonso in the history of Formula 1. Oh, and Yuki Tsunoda millimetres from the wall. And that Aston Martin had to drift around the outside. Wow, Yuki Tsunoda, incredible. George Russell then into the pits. I think I'm one lap out on my predictions. I said George Russell in for slicks on lap 21. It's George Russell in for slicks on lap 22. I am one lap out. And I got the specific driver and the specific tyres. So what are we saying? It's not a bad prediction. It is Russell on lap 22 in for slicks. I said lap 21. Close, but no cigar. I'll get it right next time. Hey, that's not a bad prediction, that. I mean, I've watched every single race for 17 years, so if I didn't know what I was... Oh my God, he's fully drifting, bro. Hey, listen, I might be right about him putting the slick tyres on, right? But I tell you what, I don't think it's working, bro. Whoa, he did a full-on opposite lock Tokyo drift style slide coming out of turn 3. One for the photographers, that is one for the photographers, that he was on a full drift. I haven't seen that since the third Fast and Furious movie. Oh, he is fully tiptoeing. It's not the one. It's not the one. I mean, he had to take the gamble. You know, I'm in their position. I'd do exactly the same thing. I called it. I'd do exactly the same thing, but I don't think it's working, man. I'd have made the same mistake as them. Look at this here. He gets on the power at the end, exit of turn 3. Woo! He almost hits the wall with the right rear tyre, but it looks epic. Yeah, and they are doing the slow-mo of it. They've gone full slow-mo with the drift as well. You could almost play that music. What a tune that was. Green flag then, so virtual safety car has ended. And yeah, George Russell's the only man who's gone for the full gamble. And is heavy gamble. Insane on the flabby one. He was insane in the membrane. Mi amiga, yeah, that's tough break for Alonso, I know. 350th race, he's out. So Zhou's out, Latifi's out, Alonso's out. Russell, 17th and last, risking a set of dry tyres. Heavy. Lap 23 of 61. I think George is going to be... They had to give it a go, but I think George is going to be well off the pace, at least for a few laps. He's carried on. He's given it more than a lap then, so he's not going straight back on. Because we've seen that a few times in the past where they give it a go on the dries and then go, nah, do you know what? It's not the one. They go straight back on the intermediates again. But nah, Russell's gone round again, but he's 16 seconds off the back of the pack. You had to give it a go, though. What if it had worked? You know, George Russell could have come in, put a set of mediums on him in 5 seconds a lap quicker than everyone else, and then by the time everyone else reacts, he could have been in the top 10, and it would change his complete, you know, it changes his race then. So, yeah, you've got to give it, you live once, don't you? What beverage you got today? Oh, it's just Coca-Cola. It's not anything. Listen, I am not touching anything alcoholic for a while. There's been a few late night rave situations this weekend, so I am out for the count. Sober as a judge. Is it spitting? What? No. What? More rain? Surely not. Anyway, lap 24. Gap of the lead is 2.5 seconds. So Perez leads by 2.5 seconds over Charles Leclerc. But it's the battle for third we are looking at as Lewis Hamilton closes in to the back of Carlos Sainz for P3. It's less than a second now, Lewis Hamilton. Have they activated DRS yet? I'm feeling like no. I'm feeling like they haven't activated DRS yet, which is probably right, to be fair. It's a bit damp for DRS, but I don't think we're a million miles away from DRS being activated and it being officially sort of accepted as being a dry race from this point onwards. Yeah, it's not words. George is losing time. Yeah, he had to go for the gamble, as I would have done if I'm in George's position. He had to he had to roll the dice, did George, and Mercedes, you know, felt like it was worth rolling the dice. It's not worked. George Russell's slower he's a good 3 seconds off the pace, isn't he? He's a good 3 seconds off the pace. He's now 21 seconds behind the pack. Wow, so Russell on the team radio saying he's just going to stay out there. Wow. The thing is, as soon as this is the thing, George Russell's in a lose-lose situation because he comes in and pits and goes back on the intermediates. It's game over, man. He'd be lapped. If he stays out, as soon as he starts matching the guys on the intermediates, or as soon as he starts going quicker, as soon as he sets a purple sector, everyone else will get the slicks on. So he's like the guinea pig now for everyone else. So everyone else, all the team principals now can just look at George Russell's sector times and just go, right, we just wait. As soon as George Russell starts setting green sectors, purple sectors, boom, we can just react to that. So George now hasn't got the jump on anybody. It's you know what I mean? At most, he'll get like a half a lap sort of advantage. It's no. I predicted it, but it's not necessarily the right decision. Even though it was a decision that was predictable, it was not necessarily turned out to be the right decision. Yeah, Kim's in, Ernesto's in. Hope you're doing well, guys. Double yellow flag in sector 2. Albon's in the wall. Albon's crashed. Oh, he's reversed. Okay, he's lost the nose. So he's lost his front wing, but he's able to put it in reverse and carry on. Okay. Green flag, are you mad? There's a front wing on the circuit. They've yeah, no, yellow flag sector 2. So he's lost his front wing as Alexander Albon, and I think he's got a front left puncture as well. But other than that, they might be able to stick a new nose on it, new set of tyres, and I reckon Alexander Albon will be able to continue. Yeah, I reckon Alexander Albon will be able to continue. He's got a front left puncture. He hit the wall, but obviously he's not hit the wall at any great speed. He's probably hit the wall at 10 mile an hour or something. We're going to see a replay of it now then. Turn 8, is it? I don't know. Oh. Yeah, he's hit the wall at no more than 20 mile an hour, so it's not race-ending damage for Alexander Albon, and it's an understeer one. Oh, yeah, it's a clumsy one. It's just one of those. It's one of those in full lock and the car's just going straight on into the wall at 10 mile an hour. Virtual safety car then. Virtual safety car Ferrari look on in the garage. Are they going to risk the slicks? Looking at George, it's not ready yet, is it? The track's not ready for slicks yet. On any other circuit, I feel like everyone would be on slicks by now. But this is a weird one. I don't know whether it's because it's at night, so the temperatures are... I don't understand it, but they're just not getting... There's just not a clear, defined, dry line yet. Which is strange. So Alexander Albon creeping back to the pits then. I hope they've managed to recover that front wing, because there's a front wing on the circuit that they've had to... I hope the marshals were able to find a gap in the traffic and just dip over the wall and get the front wing. No. Oh, Albon's out. Well... Yeah. Alexander Albon is out of the race, becomes the 4th retirement. So Joe Latifi, Alonso, and Albon out of the Singapore Grand Prix. But that front wing's buried in the wall. We cut to the marshals trying to pick the front wing out of the wall. It's buried in, and now they clear the debris out, and we've got a green flag. Is that it? Is virtual safety car over? I think. Yeah, I'm not sure about the timescale, but that seemed like... Anyway, with the virtual safety cars over, we're back under racing conditions, and it's Max Verstappen all over the back of Lando Norris for P5. We're on lap 27 of a potential 61. Whether we'll get all the way through to 61 laps is another story. But yeah, we are down to 16 runners in the Singapore Grand Prix, 4 out, Joe Latifi. So both Williams are now out of the race, halfway through it. So not a good day for Williams, that's for sure. But Alexander Albon, I mean, even the fact that he took part in this Grand Prix was a massive win for Alexander Albon. He had appendicitis 3 weeks ago, did Alexander Albon. Underwent an operation to remove his appendix, on the back of which he had complications. So he had anaesthetic, he had respiratory problems. He was on a ventilator in intensive care 3 weeks ago, was Alexander Albon. The fact that he's even took part in this race is incredible, especially considering this race is the toughest of the drivers physically. This race is the toughest, and Ocon looks like he's out of the race. Ocon's out. Or is he reversing? Ocon stopped at turn 13 at the hairpin after he'd come over the bridge. Or is he just gone straight on? What's going on? Is he just rolling backwards? It looks like both Alpines are out of the race. Esteban Ocon, I don't know what position he was in. Was he in about 10th-ish? No, was he about 10th, 11th Ocon? Anyway, he's stopped at the hairpin at turn 13 and he's rolling backwards. Oh, they need a marshal just to stop because there's no handbrake. Oh my god, that's both Alpines with reliability issues within 5 laps of each other. No, Williams and Alpine have had an absolute nightmare. Alpine even worse because it's got both cars retired due to what I can only assume is engine issues for both Alpines. Ocon and Alonso out, which will massively benefit McLaren with Norris up there in P5. If Norris can hold that, I mean, where's Ricciardo? Ricciardo's 10th. Oh yeah, no, the engine goes, or a gearbox or something. It's either engine or gearbox for Esteban Ocon. And he becomes the 5th retirement from the Singapore Grand Prix. They're dropping like flies. IRSHT, I'm absolutely done. I'm not surprised. I am not surprised you're done with Alpine. That is atrocious. Both of them out within 5 laps of each other. Double retirement for Williams, double retirement for Alpine. We've got 15 runners left in the Singapore Grand Prix. George Russell going onto the slicks has not worked. He's 50 seconds behind the rest of the pack. He's half a lap. George Russell's half a lap behind everybody else. Heavy. They've gone. The thing is, they've gone. When did he pit? Lap 22. They've gone 10 laps too early on with George Russell. They've gone 10, 12 laps too early. But I suppose, like I said before, they had to throw the dice. I bet it is SHT. This will be annoying if you're an Alonso fan. Alonso was doing well. He was holding up Verstappen in P6. Max has been able to sail past everyone he come up against, and then he got to Fernando Alonso, and Fernando Alonso was keeping him at bay. Alonso was keeping Max Verstappen at bay, and we're just seeing a replay of Esteban Ocon where his engine blew up coming over the bridge, and he's out of the race, and the car's rolling backwards as he's trying to scramble out of it. We saw this with Carlos Sainz as well in Austria, his car rolling backwards. Down to 15 runners in the race then. It's been a while since we've seen sort of this many retirements from a race. Usually you get, 1 or 2 on a normal day, maybe. But 5 out of the race is unusual. Yeah, fast car just super unreliable. Yeah. A lot of teams have been like that. I feel like Ferrari have been a bit like that. They've had a few blow-ups and flipping, unreliability issues. Alfa Romeo as well have had quite poor reliability, I feel. There's been a few. But yeah, Alpine with the shocker of the day. No words, I know. Well, your man's leaving, isn't he? He's leaving at the end of this season. I always thought, what the hell's he doing leaving? But maybe it's the right thing to do. You never know. The Aston Martin could be quick next year and you'll be thinking, get in. Look at this. So we've got the virtual safety car due to, Ocon's car being on circuit down at the hairpin, and Lewis Hamilton is all over the back of Carlos Sainz, and as soon as this gets back underway and the virtual safety car ends, Lewis is going to be on for the podium. Behind the, well, we're under virtual safety car conditions right now, and it is Perez who leads Leclerc by 9 seconds. Where did that gap come from? I have no idea. Oh no, 6. Oh, I don't know. The times are all over the place because they're trying to keep to this VSC time. I think that's what it is. Is Sainz messing about there? Is Sainz trying to play a game of chicken with Lewis Hamilton here? So virtual safety cars ending. So they've obviously. Whoa! Verstappen on a full dive on Lando Norris. Whoa! What's happening? Wow! Verstappen has gone for a massive launch down the inside of Lando Norris, and then had to brake because of the delta time, and it's not come off. I don't know what Max Verstappen was trying there, but it's not worked, and he's still behind Lando Norris, put it that way. He went for a full dive bomb under virtual safety car. It was a bit mad. Here we go for a replay then, and Max Verstappen with Lando Norris, they're waiting for the virtual safety car to end. Okay, they're coming round turn 6, which is just a kink on the straight. Coming down to turn 7. Oh, it's so close to contact. It's so close to contact. And then they get underway. Once Verstappen's down the inside, lock the brakes. Oh, it's a dodgy one. Yeah, Max is... I don't know what Max was... That was a weird one. They're lucky to get away with it without any contact, and it is still Lando Norris P5. Verstappen P6. And it is still Hamilton hunting down Sainz for P3. But look at the battle now for 5th between Norris and Verstappen. This is the battle that we're watching. We're on lap 31 of 61. Honestly, both are good. Well, I tell you what, the points gap will be virtually the same after this. Alpine just don't want to take 4th constructors. Well, I tell you what, with Norris in, well, let's say Norris finishes 6th. Because how long is he going to hold on to this P5? Probably not much longer, as Max Verstappen's got the slipstream coming round turn 6. Is he going to try it in turn 7? Oh, it's close, but Verstappen doesn't try it in turn 7. And Verstappen's struggling for grip. They've not stopped yet, have they not? All these, like most of the field hasn't had a pit stop, have they? So they've taken these intermediates 31 laps into the race. Everybody, I've not really realised that until now. These tyres must be done. Although as they turn into slicks, as the grip, you know, maybe they're sort of matching the conditions in a way. Which is why no one's really risked it onto the slicks. Because the intermediates are kind of becoming slicks. The gap between Perez and Leclerc is 3 seconds. And then it's 17 seconds to Carlos Sainz. Incredible the difference in performance between the two Ferraris in this particular race. Leclerc has consistently been a good 3/4 of a second faster than Sainz a lap, if not more, throughout the entire race. It is night and day. And every time there's a safety car, every time there's a restart, and Sainz comes right up behind Leclerc again, boom, within 5 or 6 laps, Leclerc's gone again. So it is a top 2, really. It's a top 2 of Perez, Leclerc, and then a massive 10-second gap to Sainz. Hamilton all over the back of him. I think, what is Hamilton within a second? Let me have a look. 1.3. So the gap between Sainz and Hamilton, 1.3. me just check. 4-1. Oh my God. Right, back to the F1. I just wanted to check what the Manchester Derby score was. 4-1. United have been utterly decimated. But yeah, Verstappen really close to the back of Norris for 5th now. Oh, he locks up. Oh. This is getting sketchy. The battle for P5. Well, Alonso was able to keep Verstappen behind until he blew his engine. Can Norris keep Verstappen behind? Verstappen isn't winning the championship today. He's not winning the championship today, Verstappen. He'll probably win it in Japan next weekend. He's not winning it today because even if he gets past Norris, he'd need Perez and Leclerc both to DNF at this point, and then he'd need to rock up to the back of Hamilton and Sainz and pass them both. He's not winning the championship today. United fans left the away section at half time. Hamilton's hit the wall. Hamilton has hit the wall. What? What's happened? They're saying about Sainz as well, but Hamilton's in the wall. He's managed to reverse it and carry on. He's split Norris and Verstappen. What the hell? How has he managed to get in reverse? He's now... Norris and Verstappen were nose to tail, and somehow Hamilton's reversed and split him. He's now in the middle of them. So it's Norris, Hamilton, Verstappen. 4th, 5th and 6th. What the hell has gone on? Oh, he's going to have to pit for a new nose. Oh, Lewis Hamilton's blown it, man. Lewis Hamilton's blown it. Leclerc team radio. Oh, my God. Right, they're getting ready with the slick tyres at Ferrari, but no, they called it off. They've called it off. People are ready with the slicks now. Oh, Lewis is sliding all over the place. He's got to come in for a new nose. How the heck has he managed to split Norris and Verstappen? Car looks intact, yeah, but it ain't. They're going to have to put a new nose on that, Lewis. Oh, he's wrecked it, man. He's binned it. You rarely see Hamilton make unforced errors like that. Very rare. I saw it in Imola once in the rain. Oh no, look at this now. Verstappen. Oh, you're going to have Verstappen v Hamilton in turn 1. Oh, this could get interesting. Hamilton defends it on the inside with a broken front wing. Oh, Lewis is just going round with a broken front wing. Gasly in the pits then. Lap 34 of 61. Hamilton and Verstappen are side by side going into turn 5. Oh, Hamilton's still ahead. Oh, this could get sketchy. No, Hamilton's carrying on. He's carrying on, but he's got a broken front wing. He's sparking up all over the place down to turn 7. He's got a front wing. Oh, Max has just got to bide his time and not do anything stupid. Hamilton limping round with a broken Mercedes, but still keeping Verstappen behind him. Norris, this is absolutely fantastic for Lando Norris. Here we go for a replay with Lewis Hamilton then. He's round turn 6, down to turn 7. This is the replay of the incident. And just locks the front brake. Boom! And that's a heavy impact. I am surprised that he's able to carry on for that. That was a heavy impact into the wall. But, oh my God, boom! But it's those Tech Pro barriers that are like... kind of like marshmallow barriers. They're kind of like soft foam barriers. So he's gone boom into them, broken his front wing, able to put it in reverse and carry on. So Hamilton down to 5th, but Max Verstappen all over him as Leclerc pits from P2. So Leclerc is in for a set of dry, medium tyres. So Ferrari are the first ones, well, other than George Russell, who pitted way too soon. But Charles Leclerc is now from P2. Oh, God, this is setting off. This is it. This is it. Got this lap behind. Yeah. You're on a double one. You're on a double watch along F1 and football. Right, so Hamilton's in. They're changing the nose. Are they going to put dry tyres on it as well? You might as well bang a set of slicks on it. Yeah. So Hamilton's got a new nose and a set of medium tyres. Okay, so everyone's going on the slicks now. This is it. Lap 35, boom, slicks. It's time. It is time. Everyone is in. Lap 35. And they've put a new nose on Lewis's car as well. What position he's going to be in, I don't know. Probably back end of the top 10. Probably about 9th or something. We'll see. Yeah, 9th. Well, there you go. It was a guess. It was right. P9 is Lewis. So it is. Perez leads by 25 seconds. He's not pitted yet. So replay of Charles Leclerc's pit stop. He missed his marks, but they got the dry tyres on. Away he goes. So here come Red Bull in the pit lane. Then obviously for, well, is it that obvious? Are they going to pit Perez? And they do pit Perez. Are they going to double stack? Are they going to double stack with Red Bull and bring them both in? There's a big enough gap to do so. Fastest lap for George Russell in P15. So Sainz is coming in as well. So Perez is pitted, carried on. Perez is going to win the Singapore Grand Prix, man. It is looking good for Perez as Sainz now crawls into the pits. The gap between Perez and Sainz is huge. The gap between Perez and Leclerc. Perez has got this absolutely. Perez leads by a decent amount now. It's 11 seconds. Leclerc is a long way behind Perez. This is exactly what I'm saying, Martin. Yellow flag sector 2 as someone binned it. Yellow flag sector 2 as someone binned it on the dry tyres. Oh my god. Oh, they have as well. Tsunoda's in the wall. Another retirement from the Singapore Grand Prix. What a chaotic race. What a chaotic race this is. Why'd your stream go down? Oh my god, Harlan, you're joking. Yes, JJ, welcome in. 5-1 City, Harlan hat-trick. Oh my god. Safety car then. So Tsunoda's in the wall and out of the race. So he becomes the 6th retirement from the Singapore Grand Prix. Zhou's out, Latifi's out, Alonso out, Albon out, Ocon out, Tsunoda out. What an absolute chaotic race. Safety car. Norris and Ricciardo haven't pitted yet for dry tyres. Norris and Ricciardo are both still out there on the intermediates. Here we go for a replay. Yuki Tsunoda, who's going to be in the wall at turn, whatever that is, 12. Boom. Game up. Game over. That's a big impact as well. That's a big crash for Yuki Tsunoda. I mean, it's a good job there's 4 layers of Tech Pro barrier there. That would have been a nasty one. Tsunoda in the wall. Russell putting on a brand new set of medium tyres then. He's last. I mean, last place right now is 14th. Not that bad. Finish the race, you'll get in the top 10 at this rate. Wow. No, I know you have. I know you have. I know you have, Kim. In fact, Kim, you were in chat like half an hour before I was live. So, I know. So, big up. Right, so Norris is in the pits. This is a mad one, this. I do not know how this is all going to pan out, by the way. This is just... This is shuffling the deck, this. This is shuffling the deck, right. So, I think Norris is going to be P4. The thing is, Ricciardo's on pit exit. This could be a very strong day for McLaren, this. This could be a very good day for McLaren, this. This could be a very good day for McLaren. Soft tyres for Daniel Ricciardo. 6 races to go in his Formula 1 career. Well, we'll see. Remains to be seen. Maybe he'll have a year out and then come back. But Daniel Ricciardo is going to be P6. So McLaren are going to score a bagful here. Norris is 4th. Ricciardo's 6th. And both Alpines are out of the race, and that's the big rivalry. That's the big battle for P4 in Constructors' Championship is McLaren and Alpine. Hamilton just apologising to the team for crashing. But Hamilton's still in the race. Did hit the wall, but got away with it. Broken front wing. They pitted him. He's put a new nose on the car and a new set of tyres, set of slick tyres, and he's on his way. We're seeing a replay of Hamilton's crash. Oh, you don't often see him stuff it in the wall. You do not often see Lewis Hamilton stuff it in the wall over his 16-year career. I've seen that, 3 or 4 times in 16 years, where it's an unforced error and just goes off and hits the wall. I seen it in Brazil once in qualifying, Imola. It's a rare one. Probably 5 times in 16 years. So, and a rare Hamilton mistake puts him in the wall, but he was able to carry on, and he's now in 9th. So the order behind the safety car now, then, after it's all sort of panned itself out, is the running order is Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Stroll, Vettel, Hamilton, Gasly, top 10. Then 11th, Schumacher. Come on, mate, get a point out of this today. So Schumacher 11th, Bottas, Magnussen, George Russell 14th and last in the Mercedes, and that was due to him going onto the slick tyres a good 15 laps too soon. So it didn't work. The gamble onto the slick tyres didn't work for George Russell. He went too soon, and he is 14th and last in the pack. So 6 drivers out: Zhou Guanyu, Nicholas Latifi, Fernando Alonso, Alexander Albon, Esteban Ocon and Yuki Tsunoda, all out of the race. This is lap 38 of 61 behind the safety car, and we probably won't get all 61 laps completed, to be honest. It'll probably go to a 2-hour limit. They'll probably get to like lap 55 or something like that. Yo tax. Oh no, I'll have to make you a mod, Kim, at some point. Kim, get that itch to annihilate spammers. Yeah, no, I can't do it while I'm live, but I'll sort it out for you, Kim. I was going to do it the other day. There's always 1 or 2 taxes here. Yo tax, welcome in. It could be a good day for Daniel Ricciardo, which I haven't said a lot this season, but it could be a very good day for Daniel Ricciardo. He sits in P6 on the soft tyre as well. Only 2 cars on the soft tyre, so you've got Daniel Ricciardo in 6th on the soft tyres and Valtteri Bottas in 12th on the soft. Everyone else is now on the dry medium tyres. And put Deckers on the naughty step. Who's Deckers? Who's Deckers? I don't know who Deckers is, but he's got a naughty step coming to him, whoever he is. Okay, so safety car. Right, so this eliminates all the gaps that were built up because there was a massive gap, which has spiced it up a bit because we had a massive gap between Perez and Leclerc of like 11 seconds and a massive gap between Leclerc and Sainz as well for P2, so that you can eliminate all the gaps now. They're going to be nose to tail with a running order of Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Verstappen, Ricciardo, Stroll, Vettel, Hamilton, Gasly, top 10. So, yeah, both McLarens in the top 6. Verstappen up from 8th to 5th. Yeah, I think Christian Horner as well. They're just interviewing Christian Horner on the pit lane. He's saying, bring on the DRS. You know, we're ready for DRS. And I'd agree with that. Now, the race, crucially, we have now switched over from it being a 61 lap race. It is no longer a 61 lap race. It is now timed. So, because of the fact we will not get to 61 laps before the time runs out, we are now switched to time. So, there is 36 and a half minutes to go in this race. We're now in a timed situation. Because there's been that many safety cars and that many incidents. In other words, if you're new to Formula 1, in other words, it's like it might take all day to get to lap 61 at this rate. So we're just going to switch over to the point where, because when a race starts, you've got a 2-hour time limit to get that race done. And now we're getting towards that 2-hour time limit. Now, 99 times out of 100, a race is done within that 2-hour time limit. Not today. This race will not be finished inside that 2-hour time limit. So we are now working towards that 2-hour time limit. So no matter how many laps are done after another 36 minutes, that is how many laps there will be. Once that timer hits 0, that will then be the final lap. Well, no, how does it work? I think the timer runs out, and then the next time the leader crosses the line, he will start the final lap. That's how it works, I think. Yeah, so the timer will hit 0 in 35 and a half minutes, and then once the leader crosses the finish line, that will then start the final lap of the race. That's how I believe it works. And that's what's going to happen this afternoon. It's a rare one. It's a rare situation. You don't often see it, but we have seen it at Singapore before. It just naturally is one of the longest races on the calendar. So we are now working towards a 2-hour time limit. No way. Are you joking, Kim? It's one of the biggest thrashings ever. Oh my God. Foden and Haaland scored 3 each. Oh my God, it's one of the biggest defeats ever. Oh my God. Well, I'm glad I'm not watching that. I'm glad I just checked in on it. And you're telling the truth. But the safety car's in, and we have, well, it's a good job I just switched back to it, because the safety car's in and the race is back underway, and Perez is already weaving down the straight to get some heat into his tyres. Everybody trying to get heat into the tyres as the race is back underway with 34 minutes to go. Not often you say that in terms of time. It is no longer about laps. It's about, we will run for another 34 minutes, and at the end of that, whatever position is your position, and the race ends. Oh, they're very twitchy. Here comes Max Verstappen on the back of Lando Norris, then down to turn 7. Is Verstappen going to get the job done then for P5? Verstappen down the inside. Oh, he's locked up his brakes. Oh, Verstappen's going to use the wall. Verstappen, he's pirouetting. Oh, Verstappen goes for the move, but it doesn't work. He's gone straight on into the runoff area, and he's going to be down to 8th. Max Verstappen has lost 3 positions and trying to overtake Lando Norris, steaming down the inside. Both front wheels locked up. He had to go off the runoff area and a spin round, come back onto the circuit. And Hamilton all over the back of Verstappen then for 8th. Whoa, what a chaotic race this is. Oh my God, McLaren are 4th and 5th now. McLaren are 4th and 5th. It's Perez, Leclerc, Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, Vettel. Aston Martin are 6th and 7th. What in the hell is going on today? Verstappen 8th, Hamilton 9th, Gasly 10th, Schumacher 11th. And we are going to see a replay on board with this Max Verstappen full dive bomb down the inside and turn 7. Oh my God, it was... Just as soon as he hit the brakes, both front tyres locked up. Wow. And Norris will just be going See you later, buddy. Norris is just seeing Verstappen just go, and he's gone, whoa, see. Good luck to you, mate. But I'm going round the corner. And Verstappen's in. Flat spotted. Verstappen ain't winning the championship today, guys. He's in the pit lane because he's flat spotted those tyres. Those tyres will be shaped like a 50p piece. So he's in, and it's a brand new set of soft tyres. 32 minutes to go in this race now. Forget about your laps. 32 minutes to go in the race. And Verstappen is into the pits. And Russell with a puncture. George Russell's got a puncture. What? This race is just non-stop chaos. George Russell's got a puncture. Right, so Verstappen's last. Right. This is actually nuts. This is actually nuts. This is actually nuts, right? Verstappen's last. George Russell's crawling round with a puncture. There's 7 drivers out of the race. Both Aston Martins are in the top 7. It's Schumacher versus Russell that's caused the puncture. Russell down the inside. Hey, wait, mate. Oh, it's Russell's fault, man. Schumacher gave him the position. That was small. I tell you what, Russell's unlucky to get a puncture from that. They sort of banged wheels at the apex of turn 1. Russell was down the inside of Mick Schumacher, then pulled over to the racing line. They made contact wheel to wheel, and it's given George Russell a puncture immediately, which is unlucky, but it is what it is. So Russell's last with a puncture. Verstappen 13th. 6 drivers out. We're looking at the battle for the lead as Leclerc puts massive pressure on Perez for the lead. The gap's got to be within half a second. Hiya, Keith. Yeah, drop me a like, guys. This has been a chaotic, utterly chaotic Singapore Grand Prix. It seems like drama every single lap as now Leclerc is all over Perez for the lead. Half a second is the gap between the top 2. Oh my God, Charles Leclerc's come alive on these slick tyres. They've dropped Sainz by 5 seconds. McLaren are 4th and 5th. Stroll and Vettel 6th and 7th. Hamilton 8th. Gasly 9th. Bottas 10th. Magnussen 11th. It looks like Schumacher's got problems. Mick Schumacher's got problems. Oh my God. Even on a day like this, Mick isn't going to get points. Could he be another driver out of the race? We've got virtually a third of the field is out of the race. We started with 20 cars. We're now down to 13. Wow, Leclerc with the oversteer coming out of turn 13 there, down the straight then into turn 14, and Leclerc is right behind Sergio Perez. And this is for the lead. Schumacher's crawled back to the pits then. Mick Schumacher down in 13th has crawled his way back to the pit lane. Oh, what an incredibly... And I tell you what, they're drifting round turn 17. Oh, Perez is nearly in the wall in turn 18. Oh, this is incredible, this race. This is absolutely nuts, this race. I mean, the pressure that Leclerc's putting Perez under now. 0.4 of a second, the gap for the lead. 28 minutes to go. If you're just joining us, we are not running to 61 laps. They've given up on that idea of running 61 laps. This is running to a timed situation. So there's 28 and a half minutes to go. Crazy stuff. But welcome in, Keith, if you're still here. Probably just popped in. Say hello. But big up if you drop me a like. I'm having issues with the drivability of the engine, says Perez. Perez struggling with the engine. Reliability issues for Sergio Perez. I bet you're glad the F1 Clash with United game. Oh, I am, Dixon. Oh, damn right. Do you know what then, under the last safety car then, Dixon, I switched it over just to have a look because I seen Kim put 6-1 in the chat. I was like, you're joking. I was like, this has got to be a lie, do you know what I mean, just to wind me up. I flicked over Sky Sports 1 or whatever it is. 6-1. I was like, nah, F1 back on. Nah, I ain't about that. 6-1, I ain't about that, bro. Forget it. But it's a good job. This race has been absolute blockbuster, though. I think Perez has got problems. DRS enabled. Right, so we're now going to get DRS with 27 minutes to go. We're now going to get DRS. It's weird that it's not on laps now. It's a weird situation. Oh, wow. What a race, man. Leclerc for the win. I think that's looking good. Leclerc for the win is looking like a solid situation right now. Leclerc is all over the... I think he's going to get him into turn 1 here. I think Leclerc's going to get the lead into turn 1. They're coming down the main straight now. Leclerc's lining it up. Is he going to go for it into turn 1? No, he doesn't. Not quite close enough into turn 1 for Charles Leclerc. Oh, they come round turn 3. This is for the lead. What a race this has been. What a day this can be for McLaren as well, who've had a pretty average season. Let's be honest, McLaren have not had a fantastic season, have they? But they're in a position to pick up 4th and 5th in the race. McLaren, Aston Martin are going to get a full bucket's worth of points as well in 6th and 7th. Fastest lap for your man in P12, Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen might not even get a point. Well, you know, he'll get a couple of points, but he won't be winning the championship tonight, will Verstappen. He'll have to wait till Suzuka next weekend for that one. Possible 1-2 for Ferrari of 6-2. Bloody hell, what a game. What a game on that channel. Well, if you're a City fan, what a game. And what a race over here. What a race. Lecter win. Well, that's one way to spell it, yeah. But yeah, Leclerc is looking strong for the win, yeah. He's right up behind Sergio Perez for the lead. I tell you what, I think Norris is right behind Sainz, and he is. Norris is right behind Sainz for 3rd. Norris can get a podium here. Norris can get a podium. We could be looking at a podium of Leclerc, Perez, Norris. Potentially. Yeah, Norris 1.2 behind Carlos Sainz. Vettel 1.2 behind. I tell you what, Hamilton right on the back of the Aston Martins as well. There's a 3-way battle for, well, a 4-way battle for P6 really. Gasly's right behind Hamilton as well. So Stroll, Vettel, Hamilton, Gasly from 6th to 9th and nose to tail. We're yet to see that battle, but that is one that the camera crews maybe will cut to. And there we are. And as I say that, we're seeing on board with Lewis Hamilton in 8th with the 2 Aston Martins in front of him. The Aston Martins are going side by... Whoa. Oh, no, someone being lapped, is that? Oh, there's someone being lapped. I thought Hamilton was overtaking someone. But Hamilton is right behind Sebastian Vettel for P7. But the battle for the lead is 6/10 of a second. And Leclerc now with the DRS getting extremely close in turn 14. Yeah, with the DRS now being switched on a couple of laps ago, Leclerc will have even more opportunities to make that move for the lead. 23.5 minutes to go in this race. Martial. The comeback's on, Kim. No. I tell you what, I'm gutted for Mick Schumacher because he's not even going to get a point today of all days. And this is the race to get a point. Here comes Leclerc then into turn 1, but doesn't go for the lead on this occasion. The gap is 0.4 of a second between the top 2. Wow, Verstappen is... If you are just joining the stream though, it has been a chaotic... Oh, Leclerc almost going for the lead. Just as I say, it's been a chaotic race. They went side by side for the lead then. But yeah, it's been a chaotic race in which we've had 6 drivers out. Zhou's out, Latifi's out, Alonso's out, Albon's out, Ocon's out, Tsunoda's out. Hamilton's been in the wall but carried on. Russell has had contact with Schumacher and they've both carried on. It's been mad. And we have got a battle for the lead now between Perez and Leclerc, as they dance round this slippery, damp circuit on slick tyres. Leclerc and Perez battle for the lead with 22 minutes to go. And Leclerc's got DRS down to turn 14. And Perez locks up. Perez locks up. Oh, I tell you what. He's under massive pressure, Sergio Perez. He's under massive pressure now. He still holds on to the lead. They go under the grandstand then. Turn 18. I tell you what, these front two have absolutely dropped Sainz again. Sainz is 9.7 seconds behind this top two. So it is a 2-horse race, this, and it has been since the beginning. This has been a 2-horse race since the very beginning. Perez and Leclerc have been in a different league. People have been making mistakes around them, but these two have been solid, and one of them two deserves to win this race. It's 50-50 at the moment between who's going to win this between Perez and Leclerc. They've been battling all day. Here we go then. Leclerc's got DRS. Down to turn 7 they go. You can actually hear the crowd. We're watching Verstappen as well in P12 all over the back of Kevin Magnussen in 11th as they come round the final couple of corners. I tell you what, Ricciardo's not really made the most out of his soft tyres, has he? And now he's probably the tyres are probably going off. So we're watching Perez versus Leclerc for the lead. Sainz is 1.3 seconds ahead of Norris in third. Verstappen takes Kevin Magnussen for 11th. So Verstappen up to 11th. Maybe he'll get a couple of points out of this race today. But it won't be the championship today. It won't be the championship today for Max Verstappen. He'll have to wait till next weekend for that one. 6-3. What the hell? 9 goals. How long's left? I can't check because they were going to get an overtake for the lead here. But there must be, what, 10 minutes left or something in that match. But here we go for the lead then. They come around the final 2 corners. 19 minutes to go. Leclerc's got the DRS, the slipstream. Is he going to go for it into turn 1 and doesn't? Perez holds on once more. Wow. What a... This is one of the races of the season, this. This is up there with... British Grand Prix was good. And there's been a couple of other really good races. This is right up there. Singapore has been an absolute banger of a race. Also, it sounds like the Manchester Derby's been pretty much a banger of a race. Yeah, cheers, Keith. When it comes to this game, I'll be doing alright there, Keith. I'll be doing alright when it comes to F1. I just need more people to find out about the channel, and then we'll be rock and roll. But one day YouTube will put me on that list with the other F1 watch-along guys. One day YouTube will decide, you know what? Let's put this guy on the list. And when they put me on the list and people find out, it might take 2 or 3 years for that to happen. But when I'm put on the list with the other F1 channels, then we might get a few followers, hopefully. Fingers crossed. Come back in 2026, we might be doing all right. But it is. Whoa, and Leclerc makes a mistake. And he's let Perez go a bit. Oh, full time. Is that it? 6-3 full time. Wow. What a game. Oh, yeah. There we go. Full time. Man City 6, Man United 3. What the hell? 9 goals in a Manchester derby. I mean, hell of a game. And we're just seeing a replay of Leclerc's mistake there into turn 14. Oh, hits the curb. I mean, you don't want to be riding the curb at turn 14. And it's thrown the back of the car out, and he's lost a second to Perez then. So Perez now leads Leclerc by 1.4. That's giving me a bit of respite. There's 17 minutes to go. They've given up on the idea of trying to get to 61 laps, and we're now on a timed situation. So when the time runs out at the end of 17 minutes, they'll do one more lap, and then that will be the end of the race. It's Perez from Leclerc. Sainz 10 seconds behind. But it's been a hell of a battle for Singapore Grand Prix win this. It's been a great battle between Perez and Leclerc for the win. Sainz has been completely outclassed by Leclerc today. Leclerc's been consistently more than half a second a lap quicker than Sainz throughout the entire race, which when you're in the same machinery is a bit of a... He's absolutely thrashed him, even though both Ferraris are probably going to finish second and third, but one of them has been a hell of a lot more competitive than the other one. Looking like a great day for McLaren, 4th and 5th. That's a hell of a lot of points. That. How many points is that? What you get? 25, 18, 15, 12, 10. So you get 22 points for that. McLaren will get 22 points if it stays like this, which is massive. In fact, they'll overtake Alpine if it finishes like this. McLaren will overtake Alpine for P4 and Constructors' Championship. George Russell versus Mick Schumacher. Well, yeah, it is a race for his life, George. Wolfsack head coach Bruno Lage. Oh, there you go. Wow. George Russell is complaining because Mick Schumacher is giving him a race. Listen, George Russell there is come on the team radio complaining, going, Mick Schumacher's fighting for it like he's fighting for his life. Got a bit of news for you, George. He is. He is fighting for his life. Because guess what? He hasn't got a multi-year contract. He's fighting for every single position because he's got to prove his worth. Because he hasn't got a contract for next season. He's out of a seat. So he's got to fight for every position like life depends on it. Like his life depends on it. Because if not, guess what? He's going to be dropped. He's not going to be here next season. He's not going to be on the grid next season. And he's going to be dumped off into German touring cars or flipping World Endurance Championship, which is fine, but it's not Formula One. So Mick has to fight. So George Russell coming on the team radio complaining because Mick Schumacher's giving him a race. Oh, because it's only for P12. Mick's got to fight for P12. He's got to fight for every single inch just to survive in this sport. Because he's had a tough time of it. And so I don't blame Mick giving it the full beans for P12. You've got to. He's got to. Here comes Max Verstappen then down the inside of Valtteri Bottas for P10. And Verstappen does take that P10 off Bottas. See, the thing is, Mick has got to do anything he can to stand out. And if he can battle George Russell and re-overtake him, and then it helps get him noticed. Mick's got to do every single thing in his power to show that he's worthy to be here. This is the absolute pinnacle. And you can't just be here in the fact of your surname. He's got to do everything he can to prove that he deserves a seat for next season. And if that means fighting tooth and nail for P12, then so be it. Here comes Max Verstappen already on the back of Pierre Gasly for P9. So Verstappen is... whoa. Max will get 10th. I'm happy for Danny Rick. Russia story crying. What? Oh, did you mean Russell stop crying? But yeah, a bit mad for Russell to complain about that, but it is what it is. Right, so with 12 minutes to go, Perez leads Leclerc now by 2.3 seconds. Sainz is 10.5 seconds behind that in P3. Then you've got Lando Norris 4th, Daniel Ricciardo 5th, Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel for Aston Martin 6th and 7th. What a race for them. As we see Hamilton still behind Sebastian Vettel. Hamilton P8, Verstappen now P9. Verstappen has now overtaken Gasly for 9th place. Bottas is so Verstappen 9th, Gasly 10th, Bottas 11th, Magnussen 12th, Russell 13th, Schumacher 14th and last. Oh, come on, Mick. I don't think he's going to be here next year, is he? He's my guy as well. I don't think Mick's going to be here next year, man. I'm gutted. Man. I don't think Mick's going to be here next season, is he? Schumacher 14th and last, and then 6 drivers out of the race. Tsunoda, Ocon, Albon, Alonso, Latifi show all out. There's 11 minutes to go. And I think Perez has weathered the storm. I think Perez has weathered the Leclerc storm and looks like he's going to win this race after taking the lead in turn 1, lap 1, and has led every single lap since, Sergio Perez. But yeah. We're on board with Lewis Hamilton, turn 8, stuck behind the 2 Aston Martins, who are going to get a hell of a lot of points as well. So, how many points do you get first? So you get 25, 18, 15, 12, 10, 8, 6. 8 plus 6, 14 points. So Aston Martin get 14 points out of this. Which is mega for them. That might move them up a couple of positions in the Constructors' Championship. Seriously, that might move them up from 9th to 7th. Aston Martin on the back of that. I mean, I don't know exactly. I don't know, but flipping 14 points if you're Aston Martin. I mean, I think they've got like 19 points all season. So to get 14 in one go is an incredible afternoon for Aston Martin. Don't follow F1. Is making. Oh, there you go. Flabby G. That is it. That is the comment. If I could highlight a comment and put it on the screen, that's the one. I don't know how you pin comments. I have to have a look at how you pin comments. If I could pin a comment, because I think to pin a comment you might have to have 1 million followers, and you're gonna, and then you can start doing stuff, fancy stuff like that. But if I could, I'd pin that. Big respect, man, because I know a lot of the people that watch this up to now. I hope to eventually have Formula One fans as well watching this. That's the aim of the channel. That's it's for Formula One fans essentially. But I do understand that this first season, a lot of the people that are watching are people that know me because of Denver's channel with brackets football, Jams's channel brackets football. So I understand that there's people that are not really usually watch it and just know me because I interact with Denver and Jams or whatever. So I fully respect that, and that's why sometimes I over-explain stuff, because I know there's a few people that are sort of new to the sport. So that's why I'll always try and sometimes simplify things. But hopefully eventually we have that core audience of people that know me, and then also a horde of like random people. Then we're kicking. Then when we get a horde of actual F1 fans in as well, then we're kicking. But until that day, you lot are the core audience, and it's massively appreciated. We're 8 minutes to go, and it is Verstappen versus Hamilton for P8. Let's go. Cheers, Keith. Oh, you found my complete algorithm. Oh, mate. Yeah, what one day the YouTube algorithm will pick me up and go, let's put him on the list. I'm still waiting. I might be waiting a few years. One day YouTube will put me on the list, innit, and then it will be buzzing. Get in there, Flabby. Get in there. But yeah, with 7 minutes to go and Verstappen's got DRS all over the back of Lewis Hamilton, this is like 2021, except instead of fighting for the lead, they're fighting for P8. Verstappen and Hamilton, such as the chaos, such as this race has been. Absolute chaos. Perez is going to win, man. Sergio Perez is going to win the Singapore Grand Prix. I mean, I hope I'm not jinxing him, you know what I mean? But that's massive. That is massive. You know, Perez has not really had a great season. I mean, he's not been terrible, but Perez has had a pretty mediocre season, let's say. So this will be a massive boost to him. Big up to Sergio Perez if he does win this. He's only got, I think he's only got probably, 6.5 minutes to go. Another 4 laps? Realistically, we've got about another 4 laps to go. If I can translate time into laps. We've probably got about 4 laps to go. It's Perez from Leclerc by 3.2 seconds now. So Perez has weathered the storm. Then comes Sainz, Norris, Ricciardo, Stroll, Vettel, and then this battle. Hamilton and Verstappen fighting over 8th. I tell you what, this could get tasty between Hamilton and Verstappen. This battle for P8. Yo, Gav, how we doing, bro? Perez had a good start. He did, yeah, he did. He did the first half dozen races. Perez was like in the championship fight, and then from sort of after Baku, from then on till now, Perez has not really been on it. He's been finishing 4th, 6th, 5th, like positions like that. But Perez with a massive chance to win the Singapore Grand Prix, a chaotic Singapore Grand Prix with only 14 cars still running. And it is a huge battle for P7 right now between Vettel, Hamilton and Verstappen. I didn't expect to be saying that today, but that is the big battle on circuit. Sebastian Vettel, P7 in the Aston Martin, a 5-time winner of this Grand Prix as well, I think. Vettel, Sebastian Vettel's had his glory days around Singapore, back in his Red Bull days, Ferrari days. He now drives for Aston Martin. He's going to retire at the end of the season, but he's still got it. Sebastian Vettel has still got it as he holds up 7-time world champion Lewis Hamilton and reigning world champion Max Verstappen. Yeah, there is. Yeah, this battle for 7th, as Crofty's just picked up on, how many championships is in that battle for 7th place? 13? I'm giving Max this year's championship because he's going to win it next week anyway. So 13 championships in the 3 cars that battle for 7th place. So it's virtually a decade and a half of winning in this battle for P7 right now. Mad. Absolutely mad. The 3-way fight for P7. We've got less than 4 minutes to go. So, so what? 3 more laps? Because what's going to happen is they're going to run out of time in 3.5 minutes, and then the next time Perez crosses the line, we'll probably start the final lap. I think that's how it works when they get to this scenario. It's a weird scenario, but this is close. This between Vettel, Hamilton, and Verstappen. Is someone going to go for the full lunge, or are they going to just go take it easy, lads? Perez a good start, yeah. F1 King. Well, not yet, Gav. Maybe one day. F1 King. No, the F1 King is currently P8 in this race. I tell you what, this is giving Lance Stroll breathing space. Lance Stroll's going to finish 6th, man. Driver of the day, Lance Stroll. P6 in an Aston Martin. I reckon there's an argument for that. I can't believe on a day where only 14 cars finished, Mick Schumacher's still not going to get a point. Oh my God, Mick. Russell's last, man. Russell has had an afternoon to forget here. Russell's had a nightmare. And that's because they went too early on the slick tyres with George Russell. It's just completely... Mind you, he started from the pit lane. Yeah, George Russell's just had a day to forget. The thing is, George Russell's finished every single race in the top 5, apart from the British Grand Prix. Not today. He's going to be 14th and last, George Russell, so... One to forget. Oh, Lewis is on the back. Lewis is going to go for it here on Vettel. Vettel defends into turn 7. Hamilton goes side by side, trying it round the outside. It's Hamilton versus Vettel for P7. And Lewis is going to try down the... Oh, he's gone wide. He's let Verstappen through. Oh, mistake from Lewis Hamilton. And he's let Verstappen through. Verstappen moves up into P8 then. Oh, Hamilton trying to overtake Vettel. Actually messed it up. Got on the wet part of the circuit. Got on the wet side of the track. And has just let Verstappen... He's given Verstappen an easy ticket into P8. Here we are for a replay then. And Hamilton going for the move into the hairpin of turn 8. But it's damp. That's a wet part of the circuit. It's not really the place to be making a move that... Oh, locked up. I mean, he's lucky he didn't hit Sebastian Vettel there. Yeah, Vettel did nearly get wiped out. Yikes, indeed. Yikes is the correct word for what just happened there. Verstappen's going to finish 7th here. Russell had a weekend to forget. Yeah, just shows he isn't superhuman. He has had an amazing season so far, yeah, despite this. You know, one dodgy race out of 17 isn't bad, is it? You know, it's not a bad strike rate, that, if you have 16 great races and one to forget. I'd say you're pretty good. So, right, so here we go then. So the time's about to run out. See, even on Sky, they don't know the procedure. So the time's running out now. I think he's going to cross the line. They're going to give it one more lap. That's what I believe is a procedure. But it could be, oh, as Verstappen tries the move on Vettel for 7th. Oh, it's close into turn 8. Vettel fighting Verstappen for P7. So the time's ran out. Are they going to throw the checkered flag? What a weird scenario. We don't know when the race is going to end. What about that? It's like a football match reaching 90 minutes and the injury time is a mystery. We don't know how much injury time we've got. There's either another lap and a half or just another half a lap. I don't know. But it's ending soon. We're near the end. I know that much. Final lap. Now we get the graphic on screen. Final lap. Now we get the graphic on the screen. We do now know we are on the final lap as we are watching Perez lapping Russell. Yeah, so Perez has lapped George Russell and Perez now leads by 7.6 seconds. What a race from Perez this has been. I know I joked about Lance Stroll driver of the day, but it's got to be Sergio Perez driver of the day. It's got to be. I'll give this race 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, I'll give it 8.5 out of 10. I'll now give... It's been chaotic, man. It's been chaotic. And I'll give... Yeah, Perez's greatest victory. Perez's greatest victory is what they're saying on Sky. I agree with that. And... Oh, Verstappen's passed Vettel for 7th. So Verstappen takes Vettel for 7th in the closing stages as Perez comes round the final corner then. Sergio Perez wins the 2022 Singapore Grand Prix. What a drive! An epic drive from Sergio Perez. What a race. His second win of the season. He won in Monaco. He wins in Singapore. It's Charles Leclerc who did battle for it. Charles Leclerc fought bravely, but Leclerc is beaten. Leclerc P2 and Carlos Sainz, who, to be perfectly honest with you, Carlos Sainz didn't have a great day, but brings it home in P3. It's going to be McLaren with Lando Norris and Ricciardo that finished 4th and 5th. A great day for McLaren. A great day. I think they pick up about 18 points or more. 20 points, something like that for McLaren. A great day. Norris and Ricciardo 5th and 6th. Lance Stroll for Aston Martin. Do not forget about this. Lance Stroll has just finished P6 for Aston Martin at Singapore. Max Verstappen P7. He'll have to wait for the championship. He'll have to wait for Japan to take his championship. Vettel P8. Hamilton P9. Only 2 points for Mercedes this race. They were probably going for the win. I predicted Mercedes to flipping win the race. Mercedes have ended up 9th and 14th. Gasly picking up the final point in P10. Then it was Bottas 11, Magnussen 12th, Schumacher 13th, and George Russell, like I say, 14th and last. 6 retirements, about 3 safety cars, 7 or 8 drivers putting it in the wall. What a race. We have battles for the lead, battles for all through the field. Wet to dry race as well. Epic one. Epic one. In fact, I give it 9 out of 10 this race. I'll give it 8.8 out of 10. I'll give it 8.8 out of 10. I'll give Sergio Perez driver of the day. Incredible race. What a race. Flabby G. What a dramatic one. Yeah. Yeah, they had to do an extra lap, Sully. Yeah. Did McLaren a big upgrade? They did. But just on Norris's car. Well, fair play, Daniel Ricciardo. You know, he's had a lot of stick from everybody. He's been dropped for next season. But Daniel Ricciardo bringing it home in what, 5th? P5. I feel like that's his best result of the season. P5. McLaren's best result of the year. 4th and 5th. With Alpine not getting any points as well. Big result for McLaren. Big day for McLaren. Big day for Aston Martin, finishing 6th and 8th. And a massive day for Mexico's Sergio Perez, who picks up his 2nd win of the season. What a race. Beats Leclerc fair and square. Not a bad day for Ferrari either, to be fair. 2nd and 3rd. They get a load of points for that, don't they? So, Verstappen had a difficult day, really, Max Verstappen. You know, he had a lot of... he certainly wasn't bored today, Max Verstappen. You know, Verstappen's had many races where he just sticks it on pole, leads from the front, and flipping probably gets a bit bored. Today was not one of those days. Verstappen started 8th, was down to 12th, fought back eventually to 7th, but what a chaotic one. 6 retirements, and it's Sergio Perez the victor. Fully deserved. What a win. And it is definitely Perez's best win in his career. And I tell you what, he won for Racing Point in Bahrain when he come from the back. But this is even better. This is a very strong performance from Sergio Perez today. And fully deserves the win. Right, I think that's about it. As Perez climbs out of the Red Bull, standing on the cockpit of the Red Bull, and celebrates the car on this fancy LED screen thing. Right, anyway, guys. Oh, man. Listen, guys, I appreciate every single one of you that's watched this. Please do drop me a like if you have enjoyed it. It was a chaotic race. I really enjoyed it. Like I say, I give this race 8.8 out of 10. It was a good one. It was a really good one. One of the races of the season. I think only the British Grand Prix was better than this, I think, this season. So it was a chaotic one. Really great race. Please do drop me a like if you've enjoyed it. Subscribe if you're a Formula 1 fan. I think I'm close to 300 subs, which is not a mega milestone, but every 100 is a massive milestone at the moment for me. So, yeah, we're close to 300. So please do subscribe if you're into Formula 1 or getting into Formula 1 or whatever. And I will be back next week for the Japanese Grand Prix. We're back to back, Singapore, Japan. So I'll be live Friday. Well, it'll be early for Japan. We'll get into the schedule during the week. But thanks everyone for joining. I will see you for the Japanese Grand Prix in 7 days' time. I'll be doing all the practice sessions, qualifying sessions, all the rest of it. Perez wins in Singapore. Cheers, guys. Thank you all for joining. And I will see you all next time for Japan. What a win for Perez. Perez wins and is victorious in Singapore. Ferrari second and third. And Lance Stroll P6 will get in. See you later, guys.